Hey everybody, welcome back to part not a clue, uh, but the next project using this Obi that we have cut up. Today we are going to use the piece that was like kind of left over for our squares. So they're going to go on our canvases and they're going to look something like this when they're done. I don't know which way you like it. I actually like it this way. I don't know why. This bothers me, but this doesn't. Anyway, we are going to put our big piece here on the canvas. We're actually going to need 2 canvases. These canvases I bought online. I don't think you guys can get them where I got them, but they are 8-inch canvases, so shouldn't be too hard to find. You could probably use a 9. Maybe a 10 would work, but when the OB is only 12 inches wide, by the time you roll it over the edges, it might be a little tight. So I use the 8. We could also be using the embroidery hoop. I'm going to do that with a different OB, so you guys kind of have options. Now, the first step, before we get to that, like I did on the other videos, I'm going to show you what we finished last time. Last time we finished this beautiful little baby, this clutch. I used a little clip that's still working, the little snap. If you had issues following that snap tutorial, please let me know. Maybe I'll redo it with a different project so it's a little easier to see, maybe with just a scrap so you can kind of see the color difference. But our oversized clutch, the little glued on embellishment is all done. So she is going to go off to the side to market. All right. So today, like I said, we're going to be doing the canvas wall art. I would like you guys to make sure you have your ironing board, good scissors. You're going to iron the OB once we tear it apart, so make sure that's all ready. A glue gun, a staple gun, and staples for the staple gun. I know, I only say that because, well, obviously, you guys know me by now. And glue for the glue gun. That should be it. If I think of anything else, I'll make sure to mention it. Now, post-production, Sarah will put whatever else I forgot right now. Okay, so step 1, we're going to tear apart our OB. Ew, scary, right? By now, I've been messing with this one, so it's got a lot of stringy strings. It's all right. It'll be okay, I promise. But we're going to open it up. Oh my, that is a lot of embroidery on this one. Woo! Okay, but we're going to take it. See that? And it just kind of pulls apart. Because this was probably stitched by hand or very carefully by machine with a nice big stitch. They kind of come apart pretty easy. Hence why I like to over stitch things when I put it back together. So now you have 2 pieces. This is the lining. One side will be slightly shinier than the other. Sometimes. This one actually looks like it. Nah, one side is shinier. That's going to be the part that we show. And obviously the part we're going to show is not this side. But I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to get my iron turned on. Be semi-careful. These are silk threads. Try not to cut them any more than actually necessary for this project because you're just going to have an absolute mess everywhere. And see, there is some blue on this one. Just a little bit of blue. I love it. But we're going to kind of tuck all these guys in here. And I'm going to iron this open. Why? Because it makes it a little bit easier for me later on. Is that necessary? Probably not. Does it make my life easier? Yes. So I'm going to do it. Just be careful because this one has metallic threads and it gets really hot. So it's metallic and silk. So yeah, funsies. Be careful with what you're doing, alright? So that's opened. This is going to be such a mess. The more embroidery on it, the more of a mess it makes. Go slow. Well, don't go too slow, you melt stuff. Iron that one open. There we go. Now when we do the purse, which is the piece that is 20 inches long, well, I probably should have double checked that I did the right one, didn't I? Yes, okay. This is my purse piece. It was sitting right next to my other piece. That could have been bad. Well, not really, because we have to do this step on the purse too. Just a heads up. If you want to rip apart your purse and do this step, you can. Get it all done at once. So, quick, easy, nitty gritty ironing job. There you go. I am going to try to iron out this crease that's in the middle of this one the best I can. See, you can see it right down the middle. That's just the nature of the Obi. It was probably folded for many, many years on that line and industrially held together with steam for a while to make sure that that crease stays there for generations to come. I'm not going to fight with it. I'm going to call it part of the style. Alright, next step is I'm going to figure out what I want to be centered. Now, I love this blue flower, but all my other pieces don't really have much of that blue flower in it. So, I'm going to see, maybe I want this piece. And then it would probably be on the wall, something like that. No, I don't like that. So you know what? I might move this so that the blue flower is more predominant. You know what? That might work. So that's what we're going to get. What do you guys think? I don't want it centered because then if it's not perfect, it's going to look really bad. So I think I'm going to try to make sure the whole blue flower is on, but I still have enough overlap here to be able to staple it down, okay? That's kind of the important part. So, you know what? I think that's good. I'm going to get kind of this part of that flower up there. Alright. That's what I'm going to do. Very carefully flip it over. Next step, staple gun. Do, do, do. Everybody come with me while I come find my staple gun. I got this one at the dollar store. Hee. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. I think it was 300 yen, which is about $2, I think now. I don't know, somewhere around there. Maybe 250. I start in the center. Try not to put it right on top of the other staples. It won't go through. And then you're going to be fighting with it and wondering why. So, put that one in there. Try to press down. When you're doing it, I will normally do this to press and put weight on it. Just the way it makes me feel. Makes me feel good about myself. But do the one in the center. And then, this is probably the trickiest part, I think, is getting this fold in. So you can see I have a lot extra over here, right? Now there are several ways you can do these corners. I'm just going to show you the way that worked for me, but because I have so much extra, I'm going to cut. Now if that freaks you out because there's so many of these loose threads, stitch a seam and then cut on the other side of the seam. That's up to you if that makes you feel more comfortable. This is not going to be something that is played with and utilized. I don't think. I don't know. Do you guys play with your wall art? I really don't. So, I mean, we move a lot, so my wall art gets moved accordingly. I keep cutting my ironing table. There's actually a spot right there that I just always keep hitting. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Let's cut that one. These go that way. And we are going to create a huge embroidered mess. Now if you want to keep this little scrap for something, more than welcome to. You might be able to find something for that. Maybe a little purse. I don't know. Okay, I'll shake that out in a second here. And that one's out too bad. Alright. So, did that one side. Now we're gonna come around here. Shake out my mess. Oh my. Oh my. I'm just gonna. Did that kill anybody? Did that make anybody like cry inside? Probably. The grandmother that, or grandfather, probably grandmother that made this is probably very, very upset with me right now. But again, shouldn't have been at the thrift store. Her family loved it that much. Okay. And center. Now, like I said, these corners, we're gonna put some of these threads inside. I don't want to come too short because they do need to stay there or they will come out the front with enough rubbing. So, alright. So we're gonna fold this down, and I do it like I fold a present. Alright, so I fold my sides in first, create this 45-degree angle, and then I create another mitered corner down here, where I just fold that up and this down. So you can kind of see that little mitered corner there. And then I fold this down. Is that the proper way of doing it? Probably not. Is there probably a more efficient way? Maybe. Am I gonna spend the time to try to figure it out? No. No. I swear, see, that freaks me out. I was like, did it come through the front? No, it's just my little strings, guys. See? So then it looks like a little mitered corner. And I use mitered corner because, obviously, I'm a quilter, so. Oh, these beautiful silk threads. Aren't these gorgeous, guys? I need to, oh my gosh, they're so soft. I need to figure out. I hate that I just have to throw them away because I don't have anything to do with them because they're just little strings and they're absolutely beautiful. Anyway, got that corner. I do an extra couple staples right there. Do the same with this corner, so it might be easier to see because it's taller. Push that side down. So that's flat. Okay. And then miter this corner. Put that one down, that one down. So you get a miter. If you want, put a staple there. And then you can staple this corner down. I might look up in upholstery how to properly upholster corners. There's probably a way to do it to make it look fancier, but this stuff's so thick. And I like saying that this stuff's thick because it's fun. How many staples do you use? I'll give you the same rule that my grandmother gave me when it came to how much garlic to put in a recipe. You go until your foremothers tell you that that is enough. So, at least 4 more cloves than the recipe actually calls for. You? What am I doing? No, I just did something funny. Alright. Do the same thing on this side. We're going to make sure we're pulled tight across the front. Come on. There we go. You guys can see that? Ish? Okay, I'm just going to do the first one first. Okay. Now, pull this one down. And I know it looks a little messy. That's okay. Because we have a trick. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, surprise, guys. I have a trick. Try and make sure this is pulled tight. Okay. I have a little tricky trick up my sleeve to iron. Shh. I need you. To clean up this edge when I am done on there. Sorry. I don't know why I'm so afraid of the staple gun, but I really am. Come on. Give me a nice edge. There we go. It's not like I've ever stapled myself before, but I'm still scared of it. I think I'd be more afraid of my sewing machine, which I have hurt myself with, but I'm not afraid of. Somebody know the science behind that? Why I'm scared of something that's never happened, but not afraid of the thing that has happened and does hurt? I don't know. There we go. I love how that turned out. Isn't that cute? Ooh, sorry. You guys might want to see it. Alright, but it's not done. The thing I forgot to mention at the very beginning, and hopefully post-production, Sarah, remember to put it down there, is that you need some felt. You need felt, and I cut 1-inch strips, just 1 inch, and then we're gonna cut them 1 inch by about 8 inches. We'll trim them down later. So these I know are like 17 inches long, so just need to cut them in half. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hot glue them around the edge to hide our messy mess as much as possible. I may go through and trim some of these before I do that, so it's a little easier to hide. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, those are so soft. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through, glue this down all the way around the edges, and then I'll trim off the little excess and we'll be done. So give me 1 moment while I plug in the what's that called? The glue gun. Thank you. I don't know why I thanked you guys. I can't hear you. And while the glue gun's warming up, I am going to do the same thing with my solid black piece on this one. So I know I normally do all of this in real time, but I don't think you guys need to see that all again. If so, it's a lot easier to see it on this piece than it is on this piece because it's black on black. And I keep moving that into my way. So I'm gonna do the same thing on here. I'm trying to get a little closer to this corner because I don't have to worry about anything matchy-matchy. I'll trim, fold over, staple, and then once the iron is warmed up, I will come back to you guys and show you how to glue this piece on so it's finished and looks all pretty like. All right, be right back. And we're back. All right, is it just me or does every glue gun have a really short cord? I swear they're like 1 foot long, and I don't like sitting 3 inches away from my project or away from my outlet in order to be able to work on my project. So here I am sitting with an extension cord to my hot glue gun. All right, we're just gonna pick a side, any random side. Big glob in the corner, quick little piece all the way down. I am just using a regular glue stick, nothing fancy. Oops, I dropped that piece. And put it. Now I will recommend putting it just inside the border, so leave a little bit over the top, and this will be so that when it's hanging on the wall you won't actually see the border or see the edging, I guess, whatever I want to call that. And look at that, I already need a new glue stick. Alright, now start big blob on this side. Yeah, glue stick, please. Participate, please. Nice thin strip. Maybe. Or a big glob. I don't know, let's see what comes out. I actually do have a fear of glue guns. My mother has some pretty extensive scarring on her thigh from a glue gun that she got when she was younger. When I say younger, I mean she was probably in her 20s or early 30s. Some glue dribbled onto her hand somehow, and her first instinct was to rub it on her thigh to get the glue off, which then burned her thigh. So she now has some beautiful marks on her upper thigh from a glue gun. So I probably didn't let my children use a glue gun until they were way older than most kids. Actually, I don't know if I've let my 10-year-old use a glue gun yet. It's just been a fear of mine that's been instilled. Alright, now these strings, I'm gonna have to cut those guys. Alright, big glob, little bit, big glob. It's got a lot of fluffs on that side, so I'm gonna switch over to here. There we go. That wasn't too difficult, right? Alright, cut off the edges, making sure not to actually cut my Obi. Oh no, a lot along there. Don't cut the Obi, don't cut the Obi. You spent too much time and effort on this for you to cut the Obi now. Oops. Just come back on the edge. There we go. Alright. I'm going to cut some of these off because they're doing whatever it is they want and I don't like it. There we go. Maybe I will clean those up a little bit more. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run a bead along there and push that down. Look, it's done. It's hidden. It's not going anywhere. And of course, I just put my finger right in that hot glue, didn't I? I don't know. Maybe she spilled it. Maybe it dribbled onto her thigh and then she rubbed her hand on it. I don't remember now. I'll have to ask her. Alrighty. But I have to get rid of some fluffs. Unnecessary extra embellishments. It's about set. Isn't that beautiful? There you go. I think that looks so cute. How convenient. I'll show you both of these when it's all done. I'll show the next one. This one, I still have to put the stuff on the back. So after I do that, I will then add my little piece of embellishment. And at the beginning of the purse video, I will show you these finished projects. Hi. So next I will do an embellishment on this one. After I glue down the outside, I need to cut some more felt. And you don't have to use felt. You can use ribbon. You can use whatever you want around the outside edge. I just happen to have a big chunk of felt. I do have 1-inch ribbon. Maybe I'll use that on some of them because it's a little. What color is this? Is this black or is that blue? I think that's black. Could be blue. It's blue. I'm pretty sure I got some black somewhere. Maybe I will wrap that around one of the edges. I just like the felt because it's softer, and when it's hitting your wall or something, it's a little nicer on your wall than something scratchy. But I will take care of that later. And I will show you guys the purse next. I am going to hopefully, by the time I start uploading all these videos, have all the supplies to make the purse. I am still trying to find the handles that I need. Wish me luck, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.